Hello, friends. Glad to be back today for my next episode and podcast of which I do every week for you. Today, I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic which I have not discussed with anybody, or nobody has asked me where this has come from. It's about my religious beliefs and how I got so involved and worshipped and adore or prayer or bow down to my one and only saint, mentor, guide, friend, whatever you can call him, whom I look up to, whom I pray to every day of my life. I'm talking about Sai Baba of Shirdi. I am, as you know, that a very ardent follower of Shirdi Sai Baba. I have a mandir in my house, a temple in my home in Villa in Palm, which is made with a 8 foot high, 8 ton Sai Baba Murti. And even how that Murti came is a miracle which is by itself, and I will talk about it later. Coming back to way back in the 60s, when I was after college struggling. I had a job in Siba, buyer, and then got into this other company with Mr. Sabharwal, interlining company. And after I did all this and I was thrown out one fine day in the paper, I saw my name that he's no more the MD of the company and you'll be dealing at your own risk and cost. My floors went over under my feet, and it's like my life collapsed because I had given up my job in Bayer to join this gentleman. And after working with him for a couple of years and training his son and getting everything established for him, for whatever reasons that happened, he decided to mercilessly throw me out. But that was a learning lesson for me. That was a fall which I took. It was not a pitfall, it was a fall into a cliff. And I had to get up and realize what I have to do. So I was in two minds as to what should I do, how should I go ahead with my life. And my brother, Vinay, who is now in America, God bless him, was used to go to Shirdi and go to Sai Baba Mandir and do that. I used to only go to the Hanuman temple on Tuesday with my mother, and that was as far as my religious beliefs were concerned. And that also on a compulsion because my mother used to take me, and I used to do it because I was there. He told me, he said, Rajan, why don't you go to Shirdi? I said, Vinay, what will I do in Shirdi? He said, just to go and sit down there and talk to him. So I took a bus from Bombay and I went to Shirdi. I'm talking of late 60s. And I went to Shirdi. I knew nobody there. I walked in and sat in the mandir. Those days it wasn't as crowded or so packed as it is today. So I just went and sat there in the afternoon in the corner. And I sat there for about 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours, I don't remember. And I just stared at the statue and I started talking to him. And I just told him what to do. What do I do, Baba? Tell me. I'm at my crossroads. This has happened to me. You know about what has happened. What will be my future? I have no idea. And I had a long conversation with him. And I came back. And after I came back, one of my friends, his name is Kiku Samtani. He has a garment export business and a very good family friend. And he's always been my guide, mentor, and everything else. And he told me, he said, Rajan, what's happened? I said, this happened. I'm out of this business which I've been running for the last so many years of interlining, supplying this to garment exporters. So he just said, why don't you start your own business? I said, what do you mean start my own business? He says, start my own business. He says, you have the know-how, You were sent abroad for training on the recipes and the chemical composition of how to produce a good interlining. You have the customers, you have all your friends as customers for so many years whom you've been supplying this to. You have the marketing, you have the technical knowledge, and all you need is to get started with your own company. I said, but I don't have the funds. And the second thing is, where do I get this produced? Because it needs a mill. We were making this in Madura coats at the Ambas Maduram factory, and was being produced at a very large scale in a big factory. I said, I don't have the facilities to even put up a mill, even go to a mill and say, produce something for me. He says, that you manage. But he opened his drawer and he took out 10,000 rupees and he put it on the table. And he says, here is 10,000 rupees. Go and buy the grey fabric which the interlining is made of and produce it, and go and produce it in a processing mill and supply it to me, and I will pay you money immediately. So I said, okay, I'll take the 10,000. I went, took the 10,000. I said, what company is this? Then he said, you know what? He opened his pen and he wrote down the company. He said, call it Inter-Trim Linings. So I said, what does it mean? He said, interlining is the product you're making. It's a trim in the garment. So call it Inter-Trim Linings. And he worked out the name and he made a small logo of ITL. And that is how ITL was born. I went to the bank, opened the account, went to my mother, did my stationery printing free of cost of all my letterheads and bills and everything else. She did it for me. And now the question was of how to produce it. It's very interesting how destiny plays its part. Look at the ways of Baba. And I owe all this to Baba because after I came back from Shirdi, my life changed. It was like he was showing me a path. This is your path, that you have learned a trade out of nowhere. Now use it. So I decided to use it and give it my best shot at that. I remember that during my time when I was making this interlining, there was a company called Verma Mukherjee Dyeing and Printing Works. Now Verma Mukherjees are two partners, Verma and Mukherjee. And they were opening up a new mill in New Bombay. And I happened to have met them and got to know them through Mr. Om Prakash, who was staying in Chembur at Union Park those days, and he was also staying there. So I was at Mr. Om Prakash's house, the actor, the comedian. He was related to me by virtue of my father's younger brother, Bansi, was married to his adopted daughter, Suraj. And we were very close, and he was very, very fond of me. So I used to spend a lot of time in Chembur in his house, and we got along very well. He was very fond of me, very lovely man. So I realized that I met this Verma Mukherjee at Om Prakash's house. So I went to Chembur, I met Om Prakash. He said, "Beta, क्या चाहिए?" I said, "Uncle, ऐसा है, मेरे को नौकरी से तो whatever I had सब हो गया खत्म. तो अभी क्या कर रहा है?" मैंने कहा, कुछ नहीं, मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि अपना कुछ कंपनी स्टार्ट करूँ, और मेरे पास थोड़े से पैसे हैं और नॉलेज है, नो हाउ है. तो कहता है, तेरे को क्या चाहिए, क्या बता. मैंने कहा, मुझे एक प्रोसेस हाउस चाहिए जो ये मेरा लाइनिंग को, कॉटन फैब्रिक को लाइनिंग बना दे. तो फिर मैं क्या करूँ, मैं तो फिल्मी हूँ, कॉमेडियन हूँ, तुम मेरे पास क्यों आया. मैंने कहा, मैं आपके पास आया क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम एक वर्मा मुखर्जी कंपनी खोली है उन्होंने न्यू बॉम्बे में. कहा, हाँ, मैं मुखर्जी को जानता हूँ. मुखर्जी की बात कर रहा है. मैंने कहा, मुखर्जी को. तो क्या चाहिए. मैंने कहा, मैं मुखर्जी ने अपने न्यू बॉम्बे में एक नई प्रोसेसिंग मिल खोली है, तो अगर उनसे आप बात करो तो मैं वहाँ पे न्यू बॉम्बे में जाके अपना थोड़ा सा माल बना के फिर. अरे कमाल है. और फ़ोन कर रहा हूँ मुखर्जी से फ़ोन लगाया, भाई क्या कर रहा है तू. आई एम नॉट सेइंग द बैड वर्ड बिकॉज ही नेवर स्पोक एनी सेंटेंस विदाउट बैड वर्ड्स. ही सेड, जल्दी आ. ही वॉज वेरी क्लोज. सो विद इन 10 minutes मुखर्जी केम होम. हाँ जी, ओम प्रकाश जी, बोलो जी. कहता है, पता है राजन मेरा बेटा है. इसका पता नहीं कोई मिल बिल कपड़े पड़े का चक्कर है, मुझे पता नहीं, तू बात कर, इससे जो भी है इसका तू काम करना है। तो बोला क्या कहते हैं, तो मैंने उनको समझाया, मैंने कहा इंटरलाइनिंग। कहता है ये इंटरलाइनिंग इज अ डिफरेंट प्रोसेस ओम जी, इसमें काफ़ी केमिकल लगता है, रेजिन लगता है, ये लगता है, वो लगता है, और ये मशीन जो है हम स्क्रीन प्रिंटिंग के लिए, कपड़े के लिए बना रहे हैं, जहाँ पे कपड़े पे हम प्रिंटिंग करते हैं। मुझे नहीं पता, तेरे को जो भी है तू कर, लेकिन ये काम करना तुम, यू हैव टू डू दिस। कहता आपको मैं ना नहीं बोल सकता। मैंने बोला मैं अंकल मैं आता हूँ आपके पास, तो आप मेरे को ये, आप सिर्फ आप मशीन का मेरे को 2-3 घंटा दे दीजिए, तो मैं आपको ये पूरा केमिकल रेसिपी समझा के, आई विल सिट विथ यू, स्टे देयर, मैं ये कपड़ा निकाल के अपना बना के निकालूंगा। तो इसे हो गया, मेरी टूटी फूटी एम्बेसडर होती थी, तो मैं मार्केट में गया, ग्रे कपड़ा खरीदा, डिक्की में डाला और न्यू बॉम्बे निकल गया। न्यू बॉम्बे में उनके प्रोसेस हाउस पे 2 दिन रुका, उनका काम चल रहा था। अब मेरे को वो टाइम नहीं दें क्योंकि कॉम्प्लिकेटेड था, बिकॉज यू नो रेजिन, द केमिकल विच गोज इनटू इंटरलाइनिंग इज अ वेरी sticky viscous substance, and they have to clean the machine after the process is done, because it goes into a hopper and then the chemical covers it with that, and there's the dryer and comes out. Now they have screen printing which prints on offset printing, so they had to stop the machine for a couple of hours, put in my chemical, start it, do a trial, and then start it. So that took me about 1 or 2 days, but I was staying there, I was persistent. I took that and I did the trial successfully, and I created that product which I used to market through my know-how. And I supplied, when came home, got the money, made the bill with my hand, took my car, put in my car, and went to his factory, delivered it to him, got the challan signed, went to him, and said, Tiku, here's my first delivery. Very good. Now, here's the check. He gave me the check. That check I cashed in my bank, and I returned the first 10,000 back to him. He said, no, keep this money, roll it over. Whenever you have it, you give it back. He called up all his friends. He said, Rajan has started his own business called ITL. He used to work with DHJ Interlining, which is known worldwide. Now he started his own company. Please buy from him. This became from one customer to 2, 3, 4, to cut the long story short. And instead of where I was producing maybe 500,000, 2,000 meters, I started producing 10,000 meters, 15,000 meters, 20,000. By the time it became really big, I contacted another mill called Madhavnagar Cotton Mills in Sangli, whom I knew, Rajesh Jain and his elder mama, who was there. And I went to Sangli. In Sangli, I processed these goods, I tied up an agreement with them, and they started producing the interlining for me. And the business grew, and within 2 years or 3 years time, I was doing turnover of selling about 100,000, 200,000 meters a month at a very good margin of profit. And the company started growing. Now why I'm talking to you about it is we're coming back to the belief of Sai Baba. This all happened after I went to Shirdi. This Shirdi story is not ending here, it starts here. I went to Chennai. I opened offices in Delhi, Madras, Bangalore, Tirupur, and Bombay. I went to Chennai, and my friend Babu and Ram told me, Rajan, we're going to Tirupati. I said, let's go. So we took the car, went to Tirupati. When I came back from Tirupati, I had that Balaji statue and Prasad and whatever else. And I put it in my drawer in my little office I had in Kalyandas Udyog Bhavan, 200 square feet office. I put it in the drawer. That's the time when I was having marital problems at home with my wife. And there were issues at home, whatever I was doing, it was my fault, whatever happened. I had an income tax raid in my office, in my small little office. I had a major income tax raid. And my whole world turned topsy-turvy. I said, I've just started my business. How can anybody have a raid on me? Anyway, I went to the commissioner's office and then he called me. He said, "Do you have any enemies?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I don't have any enemies." He says, "You have your enemies are in your own home." I said, "Wow." So I said, "What?" He says, "You know who this raid has been conducted by? It's been done by your father and your wife." My whole thing shook up. I didn't believe it. He said, "Anyway, we're not doing anything, but you keep complaining that you're ruined and stuff like that. I think you have your own reasons or whatever." That changed my concept. I went back next year to the office and I opened the drawer and I saw Balaji's statue there and everything. And then it hit me as if Sai Baba is angry with me. He says, "When I have done everything for you and given you everything, why the hell are you going to shit Balaji?" I got up, I took out that whole thing, I went to the sea inside and I immersed it over there. Came back. Next day, everything came back to normal. And I said sorry to him. These are instances which I'm talking to you about, which have started from early. All my friends who have cheated me, betrayed me, lied to me, everything, whatever I've done in my life, they all have had very bad endings. I'm sorry to say, because I have a black tongue. They have had a very bad thing because they have betrayed me, cheated me, lied to me, whatever else they've done to me. But me, Baba has protected me. There were so many instances where I have gone to Shirdi. I used to go 31st night to Shirdi with my mother. And one night I was standing out in the rain and then there's a small window and I couldn't get in because the rush was too much. And I was just praying from outside. And suddenly I have a hand which touches me and catches me as a security guard. He says, "साहब आपको अंदर जाना है?" मैंने कहा हाँ. कहता आप आइए मेरे साथ. He held my hand and he took me inside that long queue, just through the long queue, right inside, near the statue, near the murti. And he left me there and he said, "आप अपना prayer कीजिए." I turned around to give him money, there was nobody. That person had disappeared. Now, what do you call that? It was like he had come himself and taken me there because I was a devotee of Sai Baba. Other than this, there are so many instances that have happened where he's come to me at night in my dreams or tells me what to do, and whatever I pray for and ask for. The mandir which is being done and which has been made in my house is a miracle by itself, which was an 8-ton murti coming to Dubai in by air is unheard of. Mr. Vasu Shroff, who is a well-known person in Dubai, is a devout devotee of Sai Baba. He must have made about 130 odd temples and orphanages and charitable institutes all over the. He made the Indian cemetery, the funeral home, the which is there, the electric crematorium. He's made the crematorium, he's made the Hindu temple, he's made the India Club, he's got the Indian school. He is a pillar of Dubai and he is my godfather and I respect him a lot, a lovely man. He told me, he said, "Your murti of your Bombay office is lying there and it's rotting. What are you doing?" I said, "Dada, you take it and donate it to your mandir there." He said, "No, no, Baba will come to you. He's sitting there, he'll come to you." I said, "How can he come to you? In those days, you're not allowed to carry more than 19-inch murti into UAE. He said, he'll come to you." He rang me up after 3 days. He says, "Airlift the murti, 8-ton murti." I airlifted the murti. The murti came here. It was cleared by the collector of customs, the local Emirati. He cleared it. I paid the duty on it and it came to my doorstep. After that, it was lying outside for a couple of weeks because it's too heavy to carry. Vastu Shroff said, don't do anything. I will convert this at my cost and make this into a temple." After he made the temple, we did the Stapana of the Murti, and the temple is there today, standing. And the moment Baba's Murti was established there, I mean, it's a hair-raising experience while I'm talking to you. The whole aura and the positivity in the house changed, and whoever came home got a fantastic feeling and it still exists. And then subsequent to that, not only that, the Maharaj, head priest of Shirdi, Solake Maharaj, he comes on his own twice, thrice a year, say that Baba has told me go and see Rajan, or my mother was not well, his mother was not well, go and do arti for them. He kept coming at odd times. I had my heart attacks. And every time I'd come home from a heart attack, I used to get a call from Maharaj saying, Baba ne pucha jaake hal, how is he? And I told him, I said, how did you know? कहते मुझे नहीं मालूम. बाबा ने बोला जाके राजन का हाल पूछो. He said, अभी आपका कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं, अभी आपको दवा की नहीं, दुआ की जरूरत है. I mean, there are instances which I can go on and on and on. But my belief in Baba became so strong that even during my heart attacks, I had 4 of them. And when my son and my daughter-in-law and everybody who was there with me went into the hospital, my son gave me a small white marble statue of Sai Baba. He said, Dad, keep this on your bedside. I just clutched it in my hand and went inside this operation theater. And I said, don't worry, I'll come back fine. And this has happened to me 4 times. When I had my heart attack, 3 heart attacks, 1 heart failure, and clutched it, and I came in, went smiling and came out smiling. Then I had my aortic valve replacement, and I bout with cancer, my knee replacement, COVID. I mean, all the illnesses that I've had. And today, it was only the blessings of my mother, whom I looked after for 35 years, and Sai Baba, that I am today sitting with you. And at 78, I'm gymming. I'm going to the gym 3 times a week, swimming twice a week, and I'm feeling fit as a fiddle at 78 with everything I've had. This is nothing short of the hand of Sai Baba on me and my mother's blessings. And this is something that I wanted to convey to you and tell you that you have faith in somebody or something will always protect you, because you have done no harm or cheated or lied or betrayed anybody. Yes, I made my mistakes in life and I'm paying for it. And I will continue to pay for it for whatever I've done wrong to a lot of people in my life. But I am still sitting here healthy as an ox at 78, gymming and doing my thing and living my life the way I want it in my way. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you've learned something from this, but have faith and belief in whatever you believe in, whether it's Sai Baba or God or Allah or Muhammad or Jesus, but have faith, because as long as you are clean in your heart inside and you have done nobody harm, nothing can come wrong to you. The negative people will come and go away on their own. The positive people will remain. And this has happened to me many times. A lot of negativity comes in the home and goes away. But they go away because your positivity is so strong that they go away on their own. So goodbye, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much. Bye.